Hi there, John Michael Bliss here for Grow, Love, and Expand. I'm going to talk today about enlightenment. What is enlightenment? You know, uh, Many things to many different people. Um, and the truth of the matter is, enlightenment is basically the understanding and awareness of who and what you are. Doesn't necessarily mean you're going to burst into a flame of light and, you just disappear and vanish. And like, this, the music, play. Okay. I guess that's one aspect to it. But truly, the understanding and awareness of who and what you are, truly who and what you are. The understanding and awareness that you are part of something much greater than you originally ever thought of. That you are part of something that is a co creation of reality in every aspect. That you are not just a walking human individual, you are a spiritual energy having a human experience. That you are, in essence, a part of the rocks that you walk on. You are the part of the fork that you use to eat your food, the plate that your food rests on. You are the food that you eat. There is an understanding and awareness that everything broken down to its minutest detail is all the same. That is what enlightenment is. Now, when you think about that for a second, how could you harm something if you know it's harming yourself, right? If you realize that every aspect is a part of you, your gratitude jumps up tenfold, right? You look at things as a co-creation or a uniqueness to the one self. And you don't just walk upon the path, you are the path. And you realize that there's gratefulness and gratitude for the path. You don't just treat things with destruction and malcontent, right? There's a deep, now does that mean, be a pussy willow and just get walked on? No, that's not what we're saying. They may not understand who they are, and so they may not have reached that awareness of self, and they might not treat you as well as you might treat them, but nonetheless, you recognize the goodness that they are, and you can say, forgive them for they know not what they do, right? Doesn't mean you don't get upset because you're human, but the more understanding you have of self, the less upset you're going to get because you realize they just do not know what they do. Um, does that mean that you cannot throw out a piece of furniture or that you cannot break up that furniture and throw it in the trash because you're really throwing yourself? No. Some things have an expectancy, and it's called recycling, right? We're re-engineering that molecule. Now you are co-creating another piece of furniture. But your reality in that is that you understand and now you're appreciative. I'm so grateful for this piece of furniture. I'm grateful for this fork. I'm grateful for this plate. You see, there is a walking awareness now that you look at life differently and you see things in a different fashion. Now, you watch people take trash, throw it out the window. You no longer will do that because you're trashing yourself. There's certain receptacles, right, for trash. Cigarette butts. How many people you've seen flick it out, right? Well, what happens at cigarette butt, right? They're actually the cigarette themselves, right? But they're now dirtying their place. They're dirtying themselves, right? When we have receptacles for these things, and once we understand the awareness of ourself and who and what we are, which is really basically becoming enlightened, because you're becoming aware of the surroundings, you're becoming aware of yourself and how you fit into that co-creation reality and the symbiotic union of self. That is really what enlightenment is. Now, there's many, of course, sub-forms of enlightenment, right? Having a great idea flash in your head. But the true essence is the awareness and understanding of self. And the more we connect with that understanding of self and the reality that we are one with all things, because you truly are. I know it's difficult to believe it sometimes, but you truly are. And then you have this compassion, right? And you have this willingness to not judge as much and realize that they just know not what they do, right? I have a saying that, um, I don't know everything, right? So it's judging is above my pay grade, right? Because we don't know their circumstances. We don't fully understand their awareness. But if we can understand our awareness, then we can realize that no matter what, we are still a part of them, and we're going to have to somehow come to an understanding within ourselves of bless them for they know not what they do. Because if we dwell in this so-called anger that you might have towards whatever, um, then we're actually harming ourselves. You see, because we're being sucked into this energy, right? What enlightenment does for us, though, is allows us to release that. It allows us to let go of that. It allows us to not have expectations of things and just allow what is to be. I have people ask me all the time sometimes, like, well, how was your day? I don't have an answer for you. Well, what do you mean? It was a day. You know, it was neither good nor bad. It just was, right? I didn't have expectations of the day. I didn't have expectations. The only thing that I find myself sometimes getting upset over is when other people are getting harmed, you know? And again, it's not being a sheep. It's okay to speak up. It's okay to stand up for yourself because you realize the greater essence, that you are a part of this as well, that you are an essence of change because you see the greater awareness. So you don't have to get overly wrapped up and involved in it. And it's okay to speak up and speak your mind and say, no, I no longer accept this, okay? But it still don't have the expectations if they do not change or they do not choose it because we don't know where they're at in their current path, okay? But enlightenment, the actual reality of enlightenment is truly becoming aware of who and what you are. And the great thing about it is the enlightenment is an ongoing reality. It's a process of understanding of who and what we are because you really are allowed to see fragments of yourself. Because if we were to open the floodgates to the true awareness, you would not be able to handle it. So our guides and our angels, they understand this, that it has to be given to us in fragments, right? Because too much at once really can expand the mind to where it just doesn't understand. Because we sometimes have to take steps in order to grow, okay? And so enlightenment sometimes doesn't just happen overnight, okay? It is a process. It is a process of understanding. And through that process of understanding, we start to become more aware of ourselves. And who we were yesterday may be different than who we are today, okay, or the next day. And things about yourself maybe you fully didn't understand, okay? But maybe a year later, the understanding comes to fruition because you're more willing to accept it now. Now you've reached a point to where you've questioned and you've observed yourself enough to where now a new piece of information can enter your consciousness and you can readily accept it. And you can decide, is this, true, or is this something that doesn't ring true? But the true enlightenment is the understanding awareness of self, and it's an ongoing process. It truly is an ongoing process. Very seldom does it happen overnight. Now, an event could happen that gets you on the process of enlightenment. I always say one of the greatest questions for me that I like is when someone says, I don't know who I am. I'm like, great. Now we got you. Because the minute you ask, who am I? Now you're willing to, okay, great. Now we can start to show you, right? Some people don't ask this question until they're like 90, 80, And I say, why wait? Let's do it now. Who are you? I love it when people come to me and they go, I don't know who I am. I'm like, great, great, because I can sense the humility in them. And now I can say, okay, now let's open the floodgates. Let's start showing you who you are. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take you to places you probably never thought you would ever go or ever think of. I hear people sometimes say, I'd never be a vegetarian. You don't know what would happen in your life. You don't know what changes could occur. Once the road to enlightenment begins, you could become a completely different person in a day, a week, a month, year, 10 years. And who you were could be like, I never thought I would have been this way. You may say that. I never thought I would have done this. And that is the term because you're starting to open up to the awareness and understanding of who and what you are. See, so enlightenment is a process. And be open to the process. John Michael Bliss for Grow, Love, and Expand. Thank you so much for watching. Spread the word. You know, if this rings true to you, invite your friends. Take a look at this. Truly, truly, truly appreciate and love and who and what you are. Be well always. And remember, you are worth everything that you want in this life. You are a wonderful human being. Blessings, love, and light. John Michael Bliss for Grow, Love, and Expand. Have a great day.